the largest Khorne mod in Total War Warhammer 3. Welcome back to another DOS Bear Spotlight. We're going to be checking out Trojan V's Khorne compilation mod. Trojan V has created a whole bunch of Khorne mods and put them all into one mod together. It's going to be 155 units, guys. Painstakingly, I have tried to fit combat in for every single unit in the mod, but some did get missed. I think we can all agree that the reason why we like mods so much isn't what they just add, it's also the fact that they're free. Now, after free, the best thing is going to be something cheap and affordable for you. And to help along with that, I am now partnered with Instant Gaming. Their website wholesales, whole buys and wholesales video game keys and DLC keys at an affordable price for you. I've checked them out. I think they're great. They have multiple platforms. They even have Total War Warhammer 3 on there, and it's currently beating the Steam price. I'm now partnered with them, though, and there is going to be an affiliate link down in the description, and you're going to see it here on the screen. If you want to check out their website and see what kind of deals you can find on their games, I highly recommend it. And without further ado, guys, we are now going to dive into this Khorne unit spotlight. I've got these divided up into sections. We're starting off with the missile infantry, which is something Khorne doesn't have. And as you can see here, this substantially adds on to all of that. It's pretty amazing. Bringing the Chaos Dwarfs over into Khorne, giving that stylized look. I mean, they all look really sick. Some of these units, the only difference is kind of the ammo. But there are some slight aesthetic differences if you look close at their weapons. But overall, I mean, this really makes Khorne, the faction as a whole, more well-rounded. And I did my best to kind of show off all the combat for each of these. This flamethrower unit, I love it. I think it's awesome. Some of the arrow-based units are kind of, hit and miss. But I will say the highlight of this is the Chaos Dwarf units that get brung over to Khorne. Next, we have some missile cav. We only have a couple units here, really, but the first one's going to be grenade launchers, pretty much, which is awesome, as you can see. And the next session is going to be some flying bow archer, horses. So, yeah. Next, we have missile monsters, which are always a good thing. And by the way, there are regular monsters that have ranged attacks. Missile monster, I think, means they're just really bad, really in melee most of the time. I've got to say, out of all my dinosaur-based looking units, this is my favorite one. These always really stand out to me. Just love their look, especially in this mod. Her missile attack is crazy. I love the look of this. Just the impact of it when it hits the units, I mean, really, really just awesome. Khorne even gets some constructs, so you kind of get those Tomb King vibes going on. The reskin on these guys is awesome. I just love the look of them. They look really, really good. And even the next one, these riders, like these Khorne Cavalry, I like the shields up top. This modder does really well with red and black, I think, on most units. And some units sometimes are subtly different, but these look good. Now we're in the artillery and war machines section. A lot of the Chaos Dwarf stuff gets brung over here. But there's even some new stuff from the new DLC, like the barges that get brung over. Look at those explosions. I mean, this makes Khorne into a range powerhouse. It makes this mod makes the Khorne faction the strongest mod in the game, hands down. Look at this thing, dropping bombs, decimating everything. It's just sick. Got the steam tank getting switched over. I mean, who doesn't want to see a Khorne-based steam tank? Come on. That right there just says war. Oh, and then this was shown just a second ago, but it's pretty much a flamethrower. And yeah, when that hits the units there, just burns them to a crisp. And then the classic rocket launcher. I kind of had it combined with the flamethrower attack on one, but you know, you still get to kind of see it. It spreads out into multiple projectiles, or you could switch it over to one big rocket if you're aiming at a single entity. But overall, it does really well. Now we're getting to a larger section, the cavalry. This is the third largest section you'll see. It adds quite a bit. A lot of different variety of cavalry here, and I really think it fleshes it out. And plus, it gives you like a really cool what if, you know, just seeing certain units pictured over into a Khorne faction. Judge's Envoy here, looking amazing. This is like top tier elite of the elite on unit scale. And even seeing the Lizardman factions kind of units pushed over into a Khorne view. You'll see some greenskins pushed over into a Khorne view. And even some Elf Cavalry that kind of gets... I think the Ogre Cavalry and the Elf Cavalry are going to be my two favorite you see here. This Ogre Cavalry looks epic. I mean, the fact that you include this as cavalry, it's almost comical because just how large the unit is. Taking away all of the monster cavalry, this is my favorite normal cavalry unit just because of how sick the guys up top look on top of those horses. I mean, it's just a lot of armor. I mean, it just looks awesome. I love this. Is probably my favorite unit in the cavalry section that's not a monster, really. And these back here basic boyos, I mean, they're pretty plain. They're going to be low tier cavalry unit. Bears, obviously you can't have cavalry without bear cavalry, right? Especially if you're named Bear. We're now hitting into the Dark Elf and, you know, Cold One cavalry combined. And they look sick. I like that whenever you get to a lot of the upper tier units, you start to get into a darker black and orangish look, you know, gold look to them. You have your Centaurs coming over from the Chaos Dwarf faction. And again, this is a super, not very, to me they look pretty okay, but I mean, it's a super good unit. Now this is one of my favorite monster units right here. These guys, I mean, just, I love the elk horns. I love the horns on these. They look awesome. And then you get to see your green skin boyos, the orc boys, getting brung over to the Khorne Cav. And live on top of boars. It's crazy because they're bigger than the boar. Like, it makes, I'm like, I feel bad for the boars in this situation. Even some Forsaken riders of Khorne Cavalry. I made you wait for the Lords and Heroes section, and this is the Charred Judge, which is my favorite Lord in this, and it's also the highest tier Lord that he has in the mod. He just looks awesome, weapon-wise. Second, we're going to have the Ruined Hunter. Again, second, based off tier here, and also my favorite, second best to me on looks and just what it does. It's great. The Red Butcher, another awesome Lord. Looks really sick, love his armor. He really shows off that Khorne faction. This is where you kind of get downhill. Not a big fan of this unit. I kind of don't like the gold in it. The gold kind of looks just weird. I just don't really like the overall design of it. Plus, the Lord didn't seem that strong. We're getting you a Chaos Dwarf thrown in here, which... small. It was actually really hard to record this guy in combat without, like, everything blocking out the view of him. And for you fans of the greenskins, you get you Orc Boy coming over. One of the big uns. And this guy, I've got to say, he looks cool. I mean, I've got to admit that. I mean, the Blood Dragon, I mean, I like the look of him. I like his weapon. His look's not bad. I like the aesthetic on him. I really like his weapon a lot. The Blood Queen of Khorne, you're kind of getting into the bottom here. This is like your lowest level lord, really. Overall, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, but it could use work. Another lord that got missed, the Burning Castellan. This was kind of like mid-tier-ish, kind of upper-tier, mid-tier level on the lords, but he looks pretty cool too. It just has a lot of clashing identities. Now we're into the heroes. You're going to get the Scarred Brute, which looks awesome. That weapon right there just gives me that Mayan Aztec-y vibe. Love the shield. The Infernal Slayer. This boyo is looking tall. I would not, out of all these people, I would not want to face that. I'm just going to say it right now. Another one of my favorite heroes right here. I like this ogre. I think it's cool. The flame effects he has going on when he's fighting too, it just really adds a lot of aesthetic appeal to him. And this was also a really good hero. Representing the Skaven. I like his attack combos. I kind of like just how it visually looks. The whole spinning, the green. I wish the green could be covered over into red to kind of match Khorne coloring, but, you know, it's fine. And this guy right here, obviously, it's kind of hard to show off, you know, weapons fire to make it look good, but I got to show you his reload animation and him firing. And he can go through multiple units, hitting them, and they're pretty much like a kill every time it hits. Now we're into the infantry section, which is a huge section, second largest. The only thing larger is the monster section, and there's going to be a whole lot to show here, guys. You pretty much name it. Most units have been brung over into Khorne. There's a lot. I love the look of the greenskins here. I think that they just overall look very Khorne. I like the red and black. I think he did a good job differentiating. None of them really blend in too much. The weapons stand out to be different. You know what I mean? Like, you can really tell which unit's which. Lizardmen, I'll tell you what, this was one of the hardest part for me to put into this video was the Lizardmen, because, man, the Lizardmen at a glance look really similar until you look close. So it was hard for me to, like, get them all organized with the correct names, the correct units, cards, everything. But overall, I like the Lizardman faction brought over to Khorne. I like this a lot better than having a Lizardman reskin. So I like them brung over into the Khorne faction more than I actually like the Lizardmans getting reskinned into Khorne. Not a huge fan of Dark Elf units, I'm going to be honest. Hopefully no one here loves Dark Elves and I've just attacked you. But I've just never really been a huge fan of Dark Elf units. I think they're alright, you know, it's just, I just don't like their aesthetic look even in this mod. But, I mean, I think he's done a good job. Like, those look pretty sick to me. But overall, you know, I'm just not a big fan of the faction. I think that's what really throws me off. I like the High Elves, I think, more than the Dark Elves. I mean, I like the Wood Elves more than the Dark Elves as well. I think they're my least... It's crazy, I've probably played more Dark Elf than I have any of the other Elf factions. I just don't like them as much. Oh, here's a good Skaven unit. This is actually the only Skaven infantry unit got brung over, but it looks really cool. You got the Khorne Gores. There's going to be a couple of these. One with dual axes, one with large weapon, large axe. They both really look really good to me. And I like that they were brung over, and they were brung over in a way that looks good. They're not too over the top, but they're just enough to me. They look like a real unit. They just blend. Here we have the Grand Cathay units that are brung over, which... they look good. I did not get any of these guys in combat, which I'm sorry. I completely missed them. I did get this Kislev unit, though, in combat. So, at least you got that one in there. And I think it was alright. I think the two Grand Cathay units look way better brung over to Khorne than that one Kislev does. These guys right here look really cool. I like how the shield kind of glows and stuff. They stand out in combat. I didn't really get good combat footage of these guys, but they are really cool looking. I gotta admit, I like the unit. They're supposed to, usually they would have maces, but I like that it says dual axe, but they look really good. There's a lot of elf units brought over to Khorne, I'm noticing. Just a lot. That's maybe this person really likes elf units, or maybe it's he can work with them for a lot of good art. I've got to say, Blood Ogres is probably one of my favorite infantry units in this section. I love these guys. Like, these Blood Ogres look sick. I like that you have a few different options on these. You have dual, you have a larger great weapon, and I believe there's one more that's going to pop up here in a minute. But overall, these look really, really sick. Yep, so you have them here with a big two-handed sword. I just like the look of them. I mean, I think they're really awesome in combat. It's bloody, lots of blood, lots of gore going on in this. Probably one of my favorite units from the infantry section. It's going to be these Blood Ogres. And of course, you got all your Chaos Dwarfs that are coming over. There's a whole bunch of units. And sadly, I did not have time to collect combat for the Chaos Dwarfs with Khorne reskins on top to show you, but you can just imagine they look sick. Just looking at the units here, they all look really, really good. And you know what's crazy? I feel like going from Chaos Dwarf to Khorne, they don't really have to change a lot. They don't have to add very much more aesthetic on to make the switch over. So I think it was an easy job for the modder to do it. And then you're getting to the more higher tier Khorne units. These all look really, really good. Obviously, there already is a dual axe unit, but these actually have way better stats. Then you have this, a great axe infantry unit. Again, you can tell the armor, they're just a lot higher tier on how they look, and obviously the stats match that. And then you have the pistol and axe infantry. I like that these guys kind of have like a sophisticated look to them. Some style going on, you know, they're heavily armored. It's like they're ready to duel you. Their pistols shoot out a very large blast. In combat, obviously, they're not really going to be very good in melee, but I mean, they're pretty good. You know, they're high defense. They're going to do pretty well. And then this unit. This is one of my favorite looking units. I really like the two-handed sword with these guys. I just think they look sick. And the Butcher's Guard. I gotta say, he's kind of played around with this gold tinge look to units, and I don't know if I like it. Every unit I've seen it in, I just think it looks kind of gaudy. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't look very good to me. And maybe it's just too much. Maybe he needs to lower down how much he puts. And obviously this is a unit that exists, but this is like a higher tier, higher class. These guys right here, these Bloodletters, whew, they are good. I mean, they're gruesome. Just tearing apart everything in the game. They look really, really good in combat, though, I've got to say. And I do like the black, gold, red combination on those. And obviously now we're in the Monsters section. And I did a lot better job here of getting everything recorded. So there is a lot of these units that got combat. I've got to say, all these monsters to me look fantastic. He did a really good job reskinning on these. I can tell he put time and work in. The Things Born from Blood. It's a unique look. I like this look of this unit. It's not, it stands out compared to the rest. It almost kind of fits in. Like, it's hard to tell sometimes if this is purely just a mod or if some of this stuff might have actually, I mean, it looks so close to the actual units that it blends in. I had to double check referencing on what's actually in the Khorne faction to make sure I didn't think something was a mod and it wasn't. The Emir Warriors. He does like to put horns excessively on things just to kind of give them more of a Khorne vibe. I like these Skin Wolves. I mean, this is also probably one of my favorite units in the monster section. The Skin Wolves look really, really good. This is a fantastic Khorne reskin for them. Looks great. Probably one of my favorite units here. Manicore of Khorne. Yeah, not a big fan of this unit. Kind of looks okay, you know. It's not bad, you know. He did probably the best he could. I think it looks okay. I like the tail on it, I will say that. We've got a beefier looking flesh hound unit here, you know, a little bit more fear factor to it. Skull Flayers of Khorne, and I like these units. I think this unit looks sick in a Khorne reskin. Also another really good looking unit. Decimators of Khorne. These guys look good. Surprisingly, I feel like he went like a lot of units are over the top on, oh my gosh, this is a Khorne unit. And then I feel like this unit was kind of like, well, let's change it a little bit, not very much. Maybe he liked the original look, didn't want to like overshadow it, but I mean, it turned out really good. It looked naturally, it fits in really well, I feel like, with the faction, but at the same time, I do feel like it leans too much into being Lizardmen still. It doesn't really show off a Khorne vibe. The Minotaurs of Khorne. Obviously, there already are some Minotaurs, but this is his versions of them, and I've got to say this one right here with the big axe. Oh, dude, I love the look of that unit. Minotaurs are just like the classic OG monster unit for Total War. I mean, when you think about the monster units, it just really is. This was an interesting unit. I like the look of it, but it's just weird to see a bird. You know, it's just a big bird. Cygor of Khorne. I like the look of this guy. I like the aesthetics. I didn't do the range attack on him, so you only get to see him in melee here. But obviously, you know, he throws, he hurls. And I forgot to record the giant by himself, so I had to get him walking. But yeah, Khorne Giant, obviously, just a giant reskin is all it is. It looks good, but, you know, giants are also like giant arrow sponges that just die. Blood Drakes of Khorne. Second Blood Drake looks sick. First one looks pretty good. Second one looks even better. These guys right here, actually, I had a frame rate issue with them once, and I don't know if it didn't repeat, but I had a one time where they were in combat, and my frames suffered tremendously. But I got them to record eventually where you could see it here, but man, I guess they just have a lot going on flashy-wise, but I'm running a 4090 with a 14900K, so I know it's not my stuff. I've got to say, I like the attack animations, and I'm glad they made this unit smaller than what it used to be. I think it looks really good. The attack animations on this are just awesome. Had a hard time getting good footage of the bear units for your enjoyment, but I did kind of get to see them fighting a little bit. Maybe just not the best angles on here, but again, they fight like a bear, and I would know because I'm DOS Bear. I can give you the best information on bear fighting. And then we have the Infernal Hydra. Hydra's always been a really cool looking unit, especially here once you see it all covered in blood. It's sick. The Griffins are, I don't know, the Ruined Griffin. The Griffins are a different look. I'm on the fence on how the Griffins look in this mod. Just kind of in between. I like how this bull looks. I've got to tell you right now. I like the look of this unit here. Skull Splitters of Khorne, also like the unit look on this one. I think it really fits in, looks well. Their charge attack here, obviously, pretty awesome. We have a Jabberslythe of Khorne. This guy, I like that it looks good, but it's not too over the top. I like that they kind of leaned more into the black and gold bronze-ish direction, copper, whatever color you want to go toward there. Then they did the red Blood Angel of Khorne, which obviously that's copying off the Lord, but overall still a really good looking unit. I could live without this unit, I'd be honest, but right here we have the Blood God's Abomination, which any Skaven fan will like this sprung over. Skaven units are always welcome in my opinion. from the Ogre Kingdoms. I like the look of this unit. The second one especially. I can tell the modder put a lot of work in really finalizing the look of the unit, and I like it. They did a lot of work on the coloring. So look at that charge. The Incarnate Elemental of Rage. It seems like every DLC that pretty much has come out, Trajan has really taken something from it and brought it over to Khorne, or taken the best from it and brought it over to Khorne. And I think he's going to continue to do that. He does a really good job. He brings the best from each faction, I think, into the Khorne faction. And I would say this, that no other mod out there really competes in the way this does. Skull Dragon of Khorne. Everyone needs a dragon in their faction, you know. Dragon's one of those units that I really don't like recording. Kind of like recording Carnosaurs. Any unit that jumps around, moves a lot, super hard, that turns their head a lot, never a fun time to record. I actually got a really good one here, and I hope you enjoy it. And the greenskins are back again with the Blood Idol, which looks awesome, but there's probably an easy reskin for him, really. But overall, I really like the unit in there. The more monsters, to me, the better. I mean, at this point, this modder's added so many Khorne units. What's another one? I think the hardest choice about this mod is after you get it, you're trying to decide what units you actually want in your army, and I think that's going to be your hardest choice. This Soul Grinder looks awesome. Probably, I mean, this looks way better than the original Soul Grinder. I love the look of this one. Yeah, Tzeentch doesn't get to have all the fun here. Khorne gets to steal his units as well. And more Chaos Dwarf units. These Destroyer units look really awesome, and actually, if you're surprising, when you put these two units beside each other, they look really good together in combat. I did not get a recording of this unit in combat. It completely slipped my mind. I did get this Toad Dragon, though, which is a new one from the new Thrones of Decay, so you get to see that in combat. And sadly, I did not get this Blood Titan in combat, but I did get this last unit, the Dread Saurian, and it looks awesome, and it is the largest monster unit that you can possibly get for Khorne with this mod. Hey, I want to say a big, huge thank you for watching this video all the way through, and also the link to the mod is down in the description for you to check out. And if you want to get some cheap game keys, also click on the Instant Gaming link and go check out their website. Thank you.